cut wet so the hair is going to fall down, so we're not going to breathe it in. But it's going to ruin my clippers. Well, that's why we have Barbicide, which is a rust preventative. Okay, so don't be afraid to cut wet hair. It's okay. I love cutting wet hair because once I cut my hair into shape with it, I then go into using the blow dryer to blow dry the haircut I just did in shape. And then I come through with it with my blenders and my clippers and I refine it and polish it. And other barbers out there, it sounds pretty familiar, right? You do your rough cut, you create the shape by maybe blow drying it into the shape, and then you go back through and you polish it. You hit up those dark spots with the clippers. Maybe you're only using two teeth at it. Maybe you're using the trimmer or you're point cutting with scissors if you're a stylist because you don't go too short with clippers. You know, there's many things to how you polish it up, and that's what you're going to do. Why? Because when these haircuts are done, you have to remember one very simple thing of what this scissor does. When I open and I close it, it cuts. Okay? When I turn these on, they go back and forth and open and close.
What clipper are you using?
Doesn't matter what clipper I'm using. What you need to know about your clipper is what it opens and what it closes to. Remember that, because I don't care what clipper you use. This isn't going to be the best clipper, but this is the clipper I like. And the reason I like this one is because I was a fan of Masters. Masters are a solid aluminum case. They're very heavy. So for ladies, oh, but he used this. You grab this clipper and you're going to be like, whoa, that's pretty heavy. I like something that I'm going to feel in my hand. Okay, so don't worry about what clipper you're using. You want to know what your clipper does. So I know for a fact when I have this clipper closed, as well as my other clipper, they are at a 0. 000. Okay, and that pretty much goes across the board for all clippers unless you're using a clipper with a fade blade or a clipper that is meant for something else, like a balding clipper, where it's set at one length and that is it. Okay, so know what your clipper opens and closes to. So I know that when I open it, it's about a half. Why? That's what the box says. Pretty simple. Now do I adjust them? No. Because if you adjust them, now your 0 is not a 0 and your half's not a half. Why adjust them? Just go buy another clipper that's a little bit shorter. Okay, you don't need, that's why when you see some barbers, they have like, oh, check out my barber setup, and they got like 10 different clippers. Why do they have that? Why? Because they adjusted pretty much every single clipper except 2 or 3 of them, and they're all different lengths, and they all do different things. That's what I like to tell hair cutting is like golf. Each club does something different. Each comb will do something different for you. Each clipper and each scissors will do something different for you. Okay? So going into it, my comb, it's a wall comb, nothing special. My special combs are my cutting combs, which are why it's hard. But this is about when I ride these two together, and I have my back finger right here to help guide it and hold it, right? So my clipper doesn't slide up, right? And I do that, and I just cut going up. I know it's going to be about a 1A. 1A. I know that. I also know that when I open my clipper, and instead of riding it on the toe, and I maybe go out and go more perpendicular with my blade, I'm going to get it to extend more into a 1. And at the same time when I do that, it's going to be chopping more of a T24 blade, which is a texturizing blade. Why? Because the hair's not going to fall perfectly, get fed into it. It's going to get fed into it different, which is going to cut it different, creating a texture. Things that you just test and you know. Why do I know my comb's about a 1.5 or a 1A? Well, hey, I'm going to try something out, man. And I cut it, and I get my clipper guard. I attach it, or I use my detachable, and I cut. Oh, that didn't cut anything. Let me try something shorter. And I cut again, and I know, oh, hey, I know my clipper and my comb, when I ride them together, is about a 1A. Thanks for letting me try that. Now I got a new cool little trick in my pocket. So instead of grabbing all these different guards, you learn how what we do is freehand cutting. okay? We don't use guards at all. The guards are what you have on your comb, on your clipper, and what you have for your comb. I know this comb for a fact. When I cut with it and I go through that way, it's gonna be more like a 1. Any questions about how the tools I use? All right. Like I said, it's pretty easy, and it's just a little different because we do it different. Because if you think about it, my funny joke that I tell my patrons, I'm sorry that you have to pay for this whole horrible joke, but why are barbers never late? Because we know all the shortcuts. I didn't say it was good, I just said it was a horrible joke. So if we know all the shortcuts, I know that if I use a different clipper, like I was saying earlier, like my masters, and I open them to a number 1 and I guide my comb and I cut with my comb, I know it's going to be like a 2. Cool? Where's your pump? Right back here.
Can I ask you a question about what you put in his hair? So the blue.
Oh, it's the best thing. You create the experience before you start. It smells great, doesn't it?
So
Woo!
Daniel told me to put
5
it
to
in
1 ratio.
Okay, in water.
Hair tonic into water.
Okay, but you put
Isn't that
it.
great?
You put it straight, right?
Yeah.
So
Why?
does it-
Because this stuff right here, if you use it as a multi-purpose product, I like to tell my clients that use it, just put it in like that. Why? Because as I go cut his hair, I massage it in. Summertime, throw that in the fridge. Oh, nice warm day, feels great. Really does. I don't lie about anything. I have horrible jokes. But this is amazing. You throw this in the fridge in the summertime, it's going to cool it down. And since it has witch hazel in it, it's going to give a little tingly feeling. It smells great. And like I tell everybody, I'm going to grab your attention before I start your haircut. As you ask the question, what did you put in that bottle? I haven't started the haircut and I have your attention of what I'm going to do. That is why you create an experience when you do a haircut. Okay? So don't ever be afraid to do a little something special. Well, what if I don't want that in my spray bottle? Get a second spray bottle. Come on, they're what? $2 at Sally's? Or you could make one out of a bottle you drank yourself.
I was wondering what that was.
That's why they came out with the, whatever the water one is. They actually, in Rotterdam, they copied that because they use Jack Daniel's bottles. Okay? So for these haircuts, like I said, they're very simple. These haircuts are so simple, you're going to be mind blown because when I'm done, you're going to be like, well, how'd you do? I'm telling you how I'm doing it. I'm keeping it square. All the haircut posters, we know the haircut posters, yeah? There's 24, I believe. And of those, every haircut's cut the exact same way, with slight variations to the cool hair. So let's get this boring hair out of the way and start our haircut. I'm creating my first section, which is super easy. I'm going to take a parallel parting from the recession point, or where it would maintain a square shape to the head. And if you don't know where that is, you take your 2 combs and you make a little parting by creating one of these little shapes, right? And you take that 45 straight in there and you find out where you're at, okay? We'll get to the other side and you can see it better as well. The reason that we do it this way is that we're going to set a baseline. And that is going to be the longest hair that we're going to have on the side, at the top. Because we work top down. Kind of like how you're taught in barber school, is when you do it top down, you don't leave any lines. Because when you go up, you leave a line of demarcation unless you are doing what we call flick of the wrist. I'm taking my parting to center back. As you can see, the reason for it is because we all know there's so many ways to cut hair. And we're going to do the easiest way of cutting hair, as I like to say, is we're going to do 3 sections. Cool? not gonna get lost. We're gonna do a one side, top down, start it from TPP, your temple peak point, to center back, top down, and finish. That's it. Finish, as in yes, we will detail. Finish. And I'll create the same parting as I did on this side. I'm going to recreate it on this side from recession point to center back, keeping it parallel, and then going and doing this whole side and doing it and connecting it to the backward. Obviously, I'm going to center back, so makes kind of like a little V or a drop fade perhaps. And once I get done with that, then I just connect into the top. That's it. It's so easy. That's why everybody gets blown away. How do you do these classic haircuts? Well, they're simple. There's 3 sections. Because if you did it not to nag anybody of any other ways, but like I said, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. So if you do it maybe the American Crew way, you know, there's 5 panels on the sides and back and 5 panels on the top. Or you do it Paul Mitchell and you're using an umbrella, 8 panel umbrella effect coming down the sides. You know, there's different ways, okay? And I'm going to show you the easiest way. So simple, I'm going to come up and get my hair to stand up. And what I want to do is I want to pull it up. I'm taking it from the center of the ear. Why am I taking it from the ear? Because it's the squarest part of the head. Cool? From there, I'm going to guesstimate my length of what I want. We're going skin, so I know I don't have to leave a lot of length out. I can leave it a little bit tighter. But what I'm doing when I pull my section up, I want my hair, as you can somewhat see, which speaking of that hair tonic as we spoke of before of, is it's going to give me a little bit of hold. Okay? You can see it. It's staying up. It's not water. It's going to give you a touch of hold. It's going to give you a little bit of grip. Along with it, the other use of it is when you use it with grease. If you use the pink or green, you put it back in your hair the second day, and what it's going to do is it's going to help revitalize that pink or that green grease that is meant to stay in your hair for a couple days. It's meant to stay in your hair for a couple days. Ew, God, that's gross. Ladies, come on. Let's keep it real. How often do we shampoo our hair? Right? Come on now. So it's okay, you know, to have product in your hair for a couple days, right? Who's on dry shampoo day number 3? Exactly. Okay, no, we're not shy. We're keeping it real, okay? So, and the other side I like to say about the hair tonic would be like kind of like a dry shampoo because it does revitalize product in your hair from the day before. Is, sorry for these 2 guys, but it's not on you or your hereditary, I believe. I believe it is on the ladies in your life. Guys, you need to wash your hair every day. You need to wash your hair. It stinks. You need to wash your hair. Yet you wash your hair once or twice a week. And now we fast forward in life and we're 80. You still have hair and I'm bald. Come on, let's keep it real, right? So my hair's still standing up, holding a great position. I'm going to hold up. I'm going to help hold that position with my finger. I'm going to make my cut. This is my baseline. Plain and simple. I'm not going shorter than that. I might go shorter than that, but for my rest of my transition, I will not from here forward. The reasoning for it is because that is my guide, which I'm going to connect into the top for. Cool. I'm going to take that and go forward, keeping it square. So a lot of people ask, well, when you bring it up, how come it kind of arches forward? Why? Because the front of his head rounds forward. That's why. Okay, so when you see some people that, oh, I want this fade, you know, and it goes straight back. Well, does their head shape dictate that they can have that? Maybe if they have more of a square shaped head, but if they have a more rounder shaped head, guess what? They're going to have that cool little arch in the front. Okay? So be realistic with your clients when you're giving a haircut and they show photos. I always tell my clients to bring a photo in. Why? Because it's going to be the best way to show me what to do. I'm going to take it just a little bit lower. I am keeping my guide in at my teeth above, which are going to be the top teeth. And from there, I'm going to continue to work back now. And the cool part is, you can already see it starting. Okay? So if you're going from the bottom up, where do you stop with that 0?
Where the client wants it.
Right? So you're kind of guessing, right? Now you got to kind of work a little bit harder to kind of flick out with that 0. No, you have to work. If you're going straight up to here with the 0, you got to go up to that point and then you got to flick it out, right? And then you got to get your next card, or you got to keep playing the lever game and then finally really scooping it out at the end, because he wants a lot of length on the top. How are you going to connect 5 inches of hair to a high 0 fade? If you stop right here and then you do your 1, your 2, now you have no hair like what I have. That's why. You maintain hair and you work down. I'm still going to give him a mid-0 fade. Okay, and you're like, well, that's going to be kind of hard. You got a lot of hair, but it's easy. I don't even have the comb against the scalp yet, which I'm about to hit too. Just go down a little bit at a time.
Do you guys want the fan on? Is that the new port? The fan was on?
It's up to you guys. If it's on low, it'd
Does
be
it
cool.
feel better?
There it is. We're still going, and you already see what's going on. Why do you leave all this? Because what's going to happen to it? All gone. Okay? So as you do it this way, you're going to feel yourself have a little bit more control while you're doing your fading. Okay? Like I said, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. I'm in a horrible cutting position, but I'm here to help show you guys. So don't pay attention to how I stand. I stand straight up all the time. Okay, because why? If you need help with anything, you always tell your client, you're here to work for me, you're paying me. I'm also need to save my back. That's why we got these cool little pads. Okay, so don't mind how I'm doing it. We're watching more of the hair cutting aspect. Okay, so from there, I'm going to now write them together. Why? Because I have yet to get it as close as I physically can before I use my clipper opened onto the scalp. Okay? Step by step. No? Man, Daniel's had a haircut by me. We karaoke, huh?
Well, don't hold back.
Anybody do have like fun and just like totally mess around with their client while they're cutting their hair? Yeah, we should. That's why they chose you. They love you for who you are. Be goofy.
No. That's Daniel's job now. Pass on the baton.
Can't use that comb anymore. It's kind of too short already. So the reason I'm switching my clipper, okay, just because I'm not doing anything different. This has also been factory set. I haven't changed it. But like I said, you should know your clipper and you should know what you're working with. So when I go into my cutting comb to go clipper over comb, the back of this blade has guides, little channels in it, right? And it's not going to sit well with this clipper on a cutting comb. Okay, so that's why I'm going to use more of this clipper, which has more of like a fade blade. It's more smooth on the back. If you don't believe me, if you want to feel it, it's smooth. It's pretty obvious. One's got a little bit more texture than the other. So products that we have, we got a wonderful full line, which if you haven't got to play with them yet, you really, really should because they're all amazing. So let's just get into it with the shampoos and conditioners, which everybody truly needs to know how they are. And the reason for it is because the three of them are going to be what you use to degrease your hair from the pink and the green. And the way that you do that is you're going to put the conditioner in your hair first before you get in the shower with dry hair. Sounds kind of weird, right? But what it's going to do is that conditioner is going to soften that product up. And you're going to be in the shower 2 to 3 minutes after you apply it in your hair before you get in, scrub it around, and use like a wide tooth comb or a brush and just brush it through that way so it's not knotted. And then get in that shower. All right? That's how the first step of the degreasing method to remove grease. Okay? From there, you get in the shower and you use the wonderful green scrub. Have we smelt this yet before? Yeah, well then you must have smelt it on me because I wear this every week. I do a head to toe with that because you could also use it as a body scrub. Alright? It's going to exfoliate, so why not use a washcloth, rub it on your arm, it's an exfoliate. So it's super cool, it's a 2-in-1. Along with it, once you scrub that in for about 2 to 3 minutes and get it nicely in there, you are then going to have to use the daily shampoo or the conditioner once again because your hair is going to, if I had a shampoo bowl, I like to do it because you get the bowl a little bit wet and you go, here. Your hair is so clean after you use this, you need to put the conditioner in or the daily shampoo, which the daily shampoo is a moisturizing shampoo just as the conditioner is a daily conditioner. And you need to put a little bit of moisture back into your hair. It's so clean. It really is. That's why I use it for my body once a week, which I do head to toe. Why? Because I use grease throughout the week. Okay? Also, along with it, I don't shampoo my hair every day. So with the green, it's going to also be more for your infrequent shampooers. Guys that only shampoo once, twice a week. That's it. That's why this is a daily. Every day. It's safe for your hair. No worries. You're good. Conditioner. It is absolutely amazing. So give it a shot. And how else could you sell the conditioner to guys? Oh, I don't use conditioner for my hair. Well, look at this lovely beard. Maybe you might put a moisturizing conditioner in it to soften it up. That's why I am not a fan of beard oils. Because of the simplicity of understanding what products do for you and what they do for your hair. Is this hair different from hair? No, it's not. It's hair. It is more coarse. It is more unruly. And it is true that the facial hair of a man is literally a fingerprint and no other man will have the exact same growth. That's exactly true. So, how do we keep this beard soft and silky? You put the daily conditioner in it every day. I swear by it. So now you're selling conditioner to a guy that doesn't ever wear it. But now he's going to put it in his beard every day he gets in the shower because after his first week of doing it, he's going to really like it. Do you still do it? I know I told you to. You don't, do you? Because I know it's a little dry, but I know there's some goodness
I
in
should
it.
have told him not to do his beard today, so it's my fault if it looks dry. I was like, don't do it, I want him to do your beard.
But see, I know that there's nothing in it today because you could feel it. And then it's the same thing with the beard foam. The beard foam is absolutely amazing as well. Sticking with conditioner, the beard foam is a leave-in conditioner.
That's what I use daily.
And depending on how often should you use it daily. I got guys use it 2 times, 3 times a day. Because they like it. It's good. They can physically tell a difference when they didn't put it in. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's dry. You might be a little itch that day. So anyways, my clipper is open right now and I'm starting. I am not removing all this. Why? Because I don't need to. Okay? I'm working up. So just fold that ear down a little bit. I'm using more of the heel as I get questions of. People are like, well, how are you doing that? You're not using the toe of the clipper. Well, step by step, I'm going to use more of the heel first, and then I'm going to start going more into the toe, and then I'm going to start closing it. right? Like I said, it's all steps. Same thing as using guard 1, guard 1.5, open, close. Guard 2, open, close. Guard 3, and it's just so ridiculous because it's so redundant. That's why the size of these haircuts as barbers, that's why it's boring hair. It's boring. If you're doing a 0 fade or a 1 fade or a 2, you're doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. That's why I can talk and take as long as I can on this, because the cool hair is up top, and that's how quick can we cut the top. Super quick, it's super easy. So going along, keeping it below my last use, which was the comb. Doing like a C-stroke motion. There's a divot right there, and I can feel it with the clipper, and as we can see, it's going to be a little darker there, so that's when you start using more of your etching, and you start going kind of in with the side. Why? Because you're going to lighten it up a little bit. You don't really want to remove length, but you want to lighten it up so the transition from the 0 to hair looks good. Okay, so now I got that. I'm going to close it just a little bit and go a little bit lower. From there, I'm going to close it all the way, and what do you think? Where do you think I'm going to start? All the way at the bottom and go straight to where my line of hair is. And then there I'm going to start to slowly open it to readjust and clean that all up.
I feel like as a hairstylist, like you learn totally, like, because you don't really learn a men's haircut, you have to kind of figure it out. And
Oh, yeah.
so I feel like doing it this way, it just makes that 0 fade not so scary. Because you did the one that's like blending it already, and now you're just cleaning the rest up.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So when you do your color, do you start at the bottom or you start at the top?
Right. At the top. Yeah. Yeah.
So I said this is not hard haircut. And I actually had a question when I was in San Francisco last year, which was really awesome. I was so proud that somebody actually was able to connect a dot with something that they had prior education on. He went to the Sassoon Academy, awesome. And as I connect into the top and I start going, he goes, God, he's like, that looks so familiar. It's like, I've learned that somewhere before. And then finally when I get to the other side and then I connect from one side to the other side and I connect and go through the top to even it out, he's like, that's what it is. And I was like, oh, what? Did you get it? He's like, it's the butterfly method I learned in Sassoon 25 years ago. If you didn't know that already, Lean and Burtis, the guys who founded this, their idol is Vidal Sassoon. Square and connect. It's super easy. Sassoon made it easy. But guess what? Everything that Sassoon did. Little section, you have another section, you got another section, you got another section. When you finish one panel, you have like 500 sections, and now you're about to go, all right, well, let's go to the other side. Okay, very similar. I took my section at the top, I went a little bit lower. I took my next section, went from front to back. Took my next section, went down, adjusted my comb, and I did the exact same thing by taking sections from top down.
I have a question. On that second section, are you pulling it out 90 or are you pulling it out 45?
I'm taking it at a slight angle because why? It's already
So you want to bevel it a little bit, okay.
As I go closer and closer, I will start to have to go out. Why? Because there's a couple things in play. One, the roundness of their head. Okay? So when you go from the front where you're keeping it square and you start coming to the back, as you come to the back, you're naturally going to have to go like that. Why? Because it is 90 degrees. It is. But since his head is now concaving in, I now have to go out to keep it 90 degrees to the section of the head that I am now cutting. So it's 90, it just doesn't look like 90. Cool?
Yeah.
So coming up here, I don't want to go too far in the beard. Why? Because If you're here long enough, because I know this is going to end here in 30 minutes from the prior designation of time, which is no worries. But if you do plan to stick around, which is great, no worries. I'm going to be here till 1:15 anyways, because we'll go through the beard. Okay? So any questions with that, we'll do that as well. So right now, the basic thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the top of the ear, and I'm going to go straight forward and maintain that sideburn area. Why? Because it's going to be saved for later. Okay? I'm not going to cut it because I don't know what he wants to do in his beard. Don't cut it if you don't know. Set it in and just go up. Open it up halfway, and I'm going to go right up to my prior mark. And the rough cut's done. Hey, off to the other side. Why do I say it's a rough cut? Why? Because we still have to use our blenders. I still have to dry cut it with my clippers. Okay, there's still steps. So like everybody's like, I had this one client, I laughed at him. I laugh at many clients. There's always simple things, you know, don't ask stupid questions, but there is no stupid question. Right? So my client, I start up here like I do all my haircuts. He was the first time. He's like, you're gonna zero this out down here, right? Motherfucker, I'm not even there yet. Calm down. Like, there's steps to a process, okay? So do remember that as we go through our haircuts, there's steps, okay? I haven't even got to the blenders, which guess what? We're gonna use the blenders on the side. If I can't quite get a shadow spot with my clipper, I might have to point cut that spot with my scissors. Okay, so there's lots of steps and lots of points to go around. So from here is I'm gonna do the exact same thing.
Damn it, hold your head still, Dan.
You got tangles, bro.
So it seems to
I'm
me
just-
like you're
I'm still
carving
waiting
out
for
a
that beard to
masterpiece
come
from
off.
a big slab of marble.
Not coming off.
Oh yeah.
Mine had to.
Start with the big
We're
tools
gonna be
and
taking
then
so much hair off the top of this guy's head.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Daniel's been
See,
growing
even the
his hair
firemen
since
are
he
celebrating.
started. Poor guy. He's been waiting for this haircut for a while.
Me too. April 7th. Reuzel retreat in Scottsdale. I'm like,
Yeah.
Who's teaching next week in Vegas?
no idea.
No idea. Okay.
I wouldn't be. I got Vegas a couple times, and not that I not want it back, but there's also 3 other Scumbassadors, 2 in Southern California and 1 in Phoenix. So
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah.
from what I've heard, I'm well wanted, but not quite of the Swice funds. For all us haircutters in here, if you want more classes, as we like to say, sell more pomade. Because how the education classes work is the area, and I'm pretty certain it's the area, not the salon itself, must sell $10,000 in order to get $500 for education. Sell more pomade. And it's not hard. If you have trouble selling this pomade or this brand, you're not letting your clients, as I like to say, you're not letting them smell it. Because it smells so good, like really good. So to start with one of them, here's the red can, medium hold, high shine, has a little white ring on the inner seal on the top. What that's gonna do is help prevent any damage to the product, which can happen when the lid is not properly tied. Along with it, all the cans on the very bottom next to the barcode have a little can with a number, and that is going to be the expiration of once you open this can will no longer be good. Okay? So, if you think about it, well, I don't use that much product. Well, how much product are you going to use in 12 months? I guarantee I'll go through this thing within 2 months. So, as somebody who's selling this product, well, hey, do you have, as we call, a hog of that product? Because the hog also has 12 months. Okay? So the cool part is, now I'm selling these giant cans of product that are going to give them well use of product throughout that whole 12 months, and they don't have to buy again. Well, I need to sell more product in order for this and that. No, you're doing it good. Who here has actually sold liters of shampoo to clients? They love it, right? And you know for a fact that they're going to use it every day, and that in 2-3 months they're going to come back again and buy another liter from you. So the way that the market's set up is that the piglets, which are going to be your travel size, are going to be like, they're all different for everywhere, but you know, online $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, you know, if you went to the website or family, whatever, you know, they're all going to be different. So you sell them in the shop, piglets usually go for 8, 9, 10-ish. Your pigs, which are the 4 ounce, are going to go for, well, about double that, yeah? And then you get your hogs, which guess what, go for about double your 4 ounce, yeah? But you're getting 3 times more product. And that's what you tell your clients.
Have they changed? When we originally started with Reuzel, they weren't letting us sell the hogs to
They were
the...
only backfire.
You can sell them if you like.
They must have changed.
But you're going to be buying hogs
Right.
from them to sell.
That's, I understand.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, I don't see why not. You're selling product, and I sell hogs at work too.
No, yeah, we were just told by our distributor we couldn't.
Well, that's different. It's different for everybody.
Chances are that they're probably just taxed, like a back bar item would be. Like a lot of companies tax you on liters, and then you just
So
don't claim
that
it on your
aspect
regular-
of
yeah.
selling and everything's gonna be different. But I sell hogs.
Yeah.
I sell liters of shampoo.
We want you to
Guess
sell
what?
everything you can sell.
Do we see how big this is? The other ones, the hair tonic and grooming tonic got supersized. So for clients that specifically use grease all the time and have a 12-ounce can of hog of pink, they could get a supersized thing, which is almost 17 ounces of hair tonic to use as well. I mean, you got to look on the aspect of not like of selling it, but like, what is your clients going to use? Because I have some clients that strictly buy a piglet every 3 months. Well, hey man, why don't you buy the pig? It's 3 times the product for like just double the price. It's too much. It'll expire. I don't use it that much. And then I have other guys that they put a scoop in their hair. And guess what? They're getting a 4-ounce can every 2 weeks. So I'm not saying sell it to everybody, but I mean, you got to really think about who your clients are actually using product.
I feel like it's pretty good price too. It's not like
Yeah.
it's an expensive,
Yeah.
crazy smelling. It's like a good smell, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah.
Like it's
So there was the red that we got passed around. The blue is going to be the big brother to the red can, which is going to have a higher hold, same as a high shine, but instead of a subtle vanilla Coke as the red one, the blue one's going to have a warm vanilla one. Okay?
Oh yeah, I know.
So pulling the hair up, doing the exact same thing, right directly above the ear. I am making sure when I pull that section up, as we can see it from all the way around, I want it to be flat and square to where if I was, we can't go all the way around, is that a marble will not go to the head or that marble will not come to me. Because that means we're at 90, right? Pretty simple.
Something got moved.
Yeah, they crowded it over so we could hit people.
What's that?
They crowded it over a little bit for you so they could hit people.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really cool. Yeah, I can see one on the top. Because it's
They moved it for you.
Oh. So then I'm just gonna keep going back, taking my sections. Obviously, once I run out of hair from going back, my hairline starts to kind of fall, right? Kind of like how we were saying with the front. So that's when I know I gotta start going to center back. Okay, that's where that comb, as we said, is gonna slightly start angling, but it's not. I'm also creating that length, but I'm also keeping the comb at 90 degrees to that section of the head.
And that can
I need some help with some
Right.
verbiage for my clients. We're in an area where they're still shaving all the way up and,
Of course.
and taking the cowlicks straight off.
I hate that.
I know it's
Those crown killers.
and I cut an old school style. I want a weight line, and I'm explaining to them the branch of the tree, the weight, the bounce, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Do you have a slick
Yeah.
fast?
Oh, you get the haircut posters, right?
Right.
You're like, oh, I want that pompadour. And you can't have that pompadour. Why
Take it
can't
away
I?
from him.
You ain't got
Okay.
no hair, man.
Take it away. All right, get it.
Just take it out of his hands. We could do that in the front if you like, but the back's gonna have to come over. It can't come back. It can't be more like a full true pomp where it's more like a slick back,
Right.
but really elevated. So what we're gonna have to do is over the course of your grow out phase, we'll just tighten up the sides for you, kind of shape up the front, and for the next 2-3 months, just really keep coming back to me, because if you don't, you're gonna get it all jacked up. We're gonna have to start it back over again. And if you really want this look, man, as you're doing this, if you really want this look, man, we gotta do this.
Gonna have to go through a month of hell sticking up
Right?
stuff.
Because those ladies that we have, that we color, they come in with that wonderful box black hair. And they want platinum. Of essence, you tell your lady clients, okay, I want to transition to this color. And you go, hey, just to let you know, it's going to be a process. We're going to have to hit this color next, and then this color, and then hopefully by our third session or second, wherever we're going with our color frame, we'll be able to get to that color that you really want and you desire right now. You really have to get that trust. They trust you already. They're coming to you. And if you just show them of what we have to do to help achieve that look, like I said, that black to that platinum, there's going to be a process. And once we get going through it and we make it to it, you're going to love it.